Hello, good evening, friends. I'm Tarun Goyal from Indian Police Service of 2022 batch. As we are working on the mission of igniting students, so on the Telegram group, I am receiving a lot of questions of yours as to how to prepare science and technology segment of the UPSC Civil Services exam. And so I thought of making a video about it, of how I did it, and what I think is a good way to go about science and technology, because especially for those people who are not from, let's say, technical backgrounds, people like us. So I'm from commerce background, so how I did science and technology because most of my answers used to be right in prelims, at least in science, and despite I had no background in that. And one question which I often receive is that do we need to read NCERTs? No, not at all. You do not need to read any NCERT for science and technology segment of civil services. So no NCERT is needed, be 6 to 12 standard, whatever. And then I received the question that do we need to read specific books about this topic? No, not at all again. So how do we go about it? Today we will discuss as to topic wise, how to go about it. So if you see, our first job is go at the syllabus. If you go in the syllabus, then see where science topic is mentioned. This is paper number three, GS paper, the GS paper 3 technology. So science is not mentioned in the paper, it is technology. And then if you go down, it says science and technology. Science and technology developments and their applications and effects in everyday life. So we as an administrator are more concerned rather than that if a scientific development is coming, then how it would impact my people. So if let's say LED bulb is coming, then how it would impact the Indian people, how I can bring the effects of the technology in the life of people of India. Similarly, if renewable energy is coming now with this climate summits and all, so we know that how renewable energy can shift the life of people in my country, because in remote areas where let's say taking the grid is a very difficult thing, you may have standalone powered lights, especially the LED lights, and that is the way to go about it. So science and technology developments and their applications and effects in everyday life. So what is the impact in everyday life? For example, vaccine technology is a new development. So how it would impact the everyday life, as we saw in the time of COVID pandemic, the DNA based vaccines were made or RNA based vaccination were made. Similarly, when we go for generic medicines or development like genetic modification, so these are the developments that are having the impact in everyday life. Now, there are a lot of developments in science and technology, be it AI. So now we have ChatGPT and generative AIs and things like that, all these sorts of algorithms. So obviously, it should come into your mind that how, and there should be an opinion in your mind that how ChatGPT like technology would have an impact on a country like India and on humanity in general, and then how it would impact the jobs, how it would impact their capabilities and the knowledge economy, what India aspires to become, and also on our software exports and things like that, and what opportunity India can leverage. So this is that segment of the syllabus. For this, you need to keep a tab on the current affairs, what is going on. So that comes into the newspapers, that comes into the magazine that you read for civil services, any one magazine that you read. So you can track it through that. And so you should have a clear understanding. If you don't know it, Google it. So the second topic of the science syllabus is achievements of Indians in science and technology. From this segment also, they often ask a question. So if this is often it would be news, let's say Sir C.V. Raman, what was his contribution? It can be asked any day because it is a great contribution that he did. Similarly, for example, once it was asked about engineering and irrigation technology that was being developed. So M.S. Swaminathan, what he did, Norman Borlaug. So all these people, Green Revolution, White Revolution, scientific, and then there is this computer thing. So what Indians have done in science and technology, their contribution, like we contributed into space telescopes as well, James Webb Space Telescope, things like that. So what is achievement of Indians in science and technology? If you don't know this, just Google this topic. You will find a lot of content around it on government ministries' websites. Then another topic is indigenization of technology. You know the government is focusing a lot on indigenization, particularly of defense technology. So we are pushing a lot that for that government has changed its policies of the procurement of the defense thing. So the procurement policies you need to read, and then how much offsets policy you need to read, when offsets we make in India. And then IDDM category, for example, they keep on bringing new categories which ask for more and more indigenization of defense equipments and arms and ammunition that our defense and armed forces use and police use. So indigenization of technology, you just Google it, what government is doing, you will find a lot of content around that. So whenever you find in news that defense indigenization government is pushing, for example, just recently light combat aircraft, the Honorable Prime Minister took a sortie. So in that thing, you need to read about what government is doing for the indigenization. So that's very important. And then another topic is that's also you will find in current affairs. And then developing new technology. Similarly, awareness in the field of IT, space, computers, robotics, nanotech, biotech, issues related to intellectual property rights. That is the last topic of the science and technology in mains. So here also pick up component by component, nanotechnology. Now, obviously, while you are preparing, think as if you are nobody and you don't know anything. So nanotechnology, understand, think about it that you are hearing for the first time. Just Google it, nanotechnology and its applications. We are more interested into applications when it comes to mains, so that when it question comes that nanotechnology mission of India and what nanotechnology can be used for, you can write a decent answer around it. So for each of the topics, you can just Google or go on YouTube that what's going on later. So for computers life, I mean quantum computers are going new. So Google what quantum computers can do, what is quantum science, and what government of India is doing for quantum science. For then you will come across National Quantum Science Mission, Google Quantum Science Mission. So similarly, biotechnology. What are the latest developments of biotechnology? Then you will go to Department of Biotechnology website. Understand from that website, read their annual reports, what government of India is doing in Department of Biotechnology. For robotics also you can do the same. And for space, go to ISRO's website and then find out what latest ISRO is coming up. And then read a bit about all what ISRO has done till date. They will be on ISRO's website. So that's what we do on to this thing. And then intellectual property rights issues, they keep on coming into the newspapers. It depends on the current affairs. Like in the COVID time, there was this issue around intellectual property rights and patent rights, and then how government of India has effective patent law in which allows you to make even the patented drug if it is, let's say, very much needed and the prices are exorbitantly high. So, intellectual property rights issue also come in PPVFR law, which we used to read for plant protection and varieties. So, this is related to farmers. And then, for example, PepsiCo company and the case which it did for its potato variety. So, these are intellectual property rights issue, copyrights issues. And then also in this topic, we have to read that what where India stands in terms of IPR. So, what is our research and development spendings and things like that. So, and then where India is there in terms of patent copyrights, in terms of global standing, and many indexes are released in that behalf. So, this is what we have to read in science and technology. So, after understanding the syllabus, let's go to prelims also. What is asked in prelims? What is there in the syllabus? So, if you see in prelims, this is the syllabus of preliminary examination. In this, it comes only general science. So they have just mentioned it like that, nothing else, no details. General science means general science. That is biology, chemistry, physics, the general aspect, the basic aspect. But if you see the past papers, most of the time, they would ask the fundamentals of science only when it is linked to current affairs, or they would ask a lot about technologies that keep on coming into the newspaper. So after having seen the syllabus, I would like to explain to you from the example of the newspaper article that how to go about science and technology every day once you prepare. So if I would like to show you today's The Hindu newspaper. So right now you won't see me, you would just see the screen. And so here is The Hindu newspaper of today. In that you see this article is there. So if you see this article, there is understanding how GPS works. So it is about GPS. It is definitely related to science. Now, how to go about this kind of article when it comes? So first of all, while you read this, I have highlighted. So if you see this, see, if once you start reading, keep highlighting. So, first of all, it is telling you where GPS is used: agriculture, construction, surveying, logistics, search and rescue, air, meteorology, seismology, military operation. So, you should know what are the use cases of this thing. What is the usage of the GPS? So once they tell in prelims that this can be used in this also, you know where it all can be used. Then if you go ahead, it also shows disaster risk estimation, maybe we can use GPS. Then it goes on to explain what is GPS. If you read this, then while reading, understand it as well as mark what you need to Google in this article. So it tells that US Department of Defense started it in 1973, 1978, first satellite was launched. Today they have 24 satellites. So this info becomes relevant for your prelims exam. Currently GPS has 24 satellites. It says how many orbits it uses. It uses 6 orbits. So 2 orbits in a single day, and then it says it has 3 component. GPS has first component space, then control segment, then user segment. Okay. Then it says that 24 satellites are there. Very important info. And then the second important info is all the 6 orbits occupy all are 20,200 kilometers above the Earth. So if tomorrow comes a question that they are in lower Earth orbit, which is like 100 kilometers or so, then obviously it's a no. So now it tells you that 6 orbits, all of them are 20,200 kilometers above, and each orbit has 4 satellites at all the times. So at one point, a person who is finding its location is able to see at least 4 satellites. That's how it is able to give you precise information. Then further you read the control segment. Then this becomes important. Standard positioning service. There is a word mentioned in the article, standard position service. Now we don't know anything about this article, so we have marked Google. So we will Google this thing. What is standard positioning service? We don't know. Okay. Then we go ahead. Standard positioning service standard tells application developers and users anywhere in the world what they can expect from GPS system and so on. Now it tells you control station where they are, Colorado, California. Now we don't need to remember these things, but try to find out if India is anywhere mentioned. Now if we see all the places, India is not there. So it means no control station of GPS is located in India. So if tomorrow comes a statement in prelims that GPS का this वाला control unit is located so and so place in India, answer is no because India में है ही नहीं. So GPS का कोई भी control unit. Now it comes how GPS work. Very very important. So it will tell you the signals, satellite image signals, and the signals are L1, L2 frequency. Now this again becomes important. We don't know at all what is this L1 and L2 frequency. Though it is mentioned this is between 1 to 2 gigahertz. If you can see 1575 megahertz and 12, but we don't know what this L1, L2 is. So we will Google it. This is second thing that we will Google. What is this L1 and L2? Then it says 50 bits per second. The signals are encoded with code division multiple access. Now this is CDMA, code division multiple access. So once you see this code division multiple access CDMA, so we will Google CDMA also via MART. We don't know what it is. And that this allows multiple signals to be transmitted from the same channel. It is mentioned about CDMA. The CDMA is such a thing which allows multiple signals to be transmitted in same channel and for receiver to be able to disentangle them. No, it is highly technical. We don't understand this, so we will Google it. So then we go further. It says radio waves travel at the speed of light. So this is a property which is very important, which is mentioned about radio wave, that they travel at the speed of light. So we will Google about radio waves also, that what are all the properties of radio waves. And we can also see if you are very curious what is speed of light, how light travels, what is the property of light. So on this, further questions have already been asked in examination. So then you go ahead further, the distance is equal to speed of light and so on. It tells you 4 dimensions. Okay, GPS gives you info in 4D. So 3 dimensions are space plus one of the time related to satellite clock. This also we understood. Then comes this about atomic clocks. It is mentioning something about atomic clocks. It is saying that satellites in a weaker gravitational potential, so that is why their clock runs faster. So it is because of general theory of relativity. Now again we don't know what is general theory of relativity, so we will Google this also. And then it also says special theory of relativity. So we don't know what is special theory of relativity, we will Google this also. And then we go further. How do satellites keep time? It is saying that because of 38 microsecond offset, there would be an error of 10 kilometers. So if there is error in the satellite and ground clock in 1 millisecond, there would be in one day 300 kilometer का gap आ जाएगा. That is why we are using atomic clocks. Now we 1974 atomic clocks US Navy ने develop की थी, जिसका नाम था नवस्टार NTS satellite. Okay, इसमें use किया था. So we don't know what atomic clock is, so we will Google this also. Now it is telling that India also having similar kind of setup. We are having Navik navigation with Indian constellation. पहले इसको IRNSS बोलते थे, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. 2006 में आया था. So we don't know about this also. We will Google this because this seems important. Okay. Then you read it further. Do other countries have GNSS? Very, very important. GNSS means Global Navigation Satellite Systems. So it is saying US की policy है, it will cooperate, and then these countries have their satellite systems. Now these becomes very, very important. Australia, China, EU, India, Japan, South Korea, Russia, and UK. So once the number of countries is smaller, that becomes very, very important. So since it is telling you, so there can be a prelim statement. There will be number of countries, and it will ask you which of them have satellite systems, GPS type. So this can be answered. But then it says only who have the global system. Only Russia's GLONASS, EU's Galileo, China's Baidu systems are global navigation satellite system. Because if you see, even India's system is regional in nature because it will serve India and the surrounding region. That is why we have named it Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. So we have only four global systems: Russia's GLONASS, EU's Galileo, Russia's Baidu, and then we have GPS itself. So these are only four global navigation systems. Rest are either they are serving their country or serving their region. Now, international, there is this something called how it is being governed. So there is, it is mentioned International Committee on GNSS is there. It is operating from UN Office, Outer Space Affairs. So in this thing, so if you see this, there is this governance system that is being mentioned of this thing. Now, Navig, as we said, we will again Google. Now it is saying Navig has seven satellites, three are in the geostationary and four are in the geosynchronous orbit. Now we don't know a single damn thing about these things, so we will Google this also. That what is geostationary and what is geosynchronous orbits. And then it tells you where it is located, Madhya Pradesh. And then we are also using atomic clock, it tells you. And then it is saying we are transmitting data in L5 and S band. Now, again, we don't know about these bands of satellite, we will Google them. Then it is saying India is also operating Gagan, which is GPS aided. It means it is with the help of GPS. GPS aided geo augmented navigation system. So we are already having a navigation system with the help of GPS. So that is Gagan. We don't know about Gagan. We will Google this also. It is developed by ISRO and Airport Authority of India. Then what is the mission of Gagan? It is written here. So we have seen now, friends, that this is the article. This is how we read an article. Now, merely reading an article is not enough. We need to understand. For UPSC, everything understanding is most important thing. So since we have Googled, I mean, we have decided that we have to Google all this to understand all of this. So let's go on Google thereafter and let us now see that how do we go about it. So as we have identified which topics to Google and which not. So first of all, Google. So first, let's say I went and I typed how satellites work in YouTube. Okay. So many videos are coming. So you start doing some video. So if I see that there are many videos coming, whatever video seems nice to you, which is short, which has many views, which seems good in animation, pick up that video. So it is having the 1.3 million views, how satellites work. Firstly, see this. If you want technical Guruji, he also explains nicely. I used to see a lot. So you can see this, and then one or two you can see. So in 15-20 minutes, understand. For example, this video is also nice science show space like this, that it is also showing you in animation how satellites work. So understand how satellites would work. So now we have understood how satellites work. The second is different types, different orbits of satellite. So once you type this, then again there are many things. See, geostationary, geosynchronous, everything is coming up. So you should see this. Whatever is good, you just go and Google it, watch it. Okay. So that's how it is. So then after seeing this, then the next thing that we decided to Google was this. This is Standard Positioning Service. So what I did before was I just Googled it. And then the United States government's official website came up, gps.gov. And then it is showing me GPS Standard Positioning Service Performance Standard that we just saw SPS. So download. And then just we don't need to do PhD on any topic, but we have a very good idea of what it is. Say Department of Defense, it means it's a government thing. GPS ka Standard Positioning Service Performance Standard. So it's a performance standard. So, and see Navstar, we saw no Navstar was mentioned in the article also that it was the first time. United States had deployed this in the satellite, the atomic clocks. So now, see, once this kind of document is there, even if it is lengthy, we need never be afraid of even the length of by the length of the document. We can very easily and very fast skim through this. Good way to read about it is executive summary. So read just two paras, you will understand that how GPS is working. See, it is giving you a very good definition. US GPS standard positioning service consists of space-based positioning, navigation, and timing signal delivered free of direct fees for peaceful, civil, commercial, and scientific uses worldwide. So basically, it is saying कि spatial standard positioning services is for civil, peaceful, and commercial and scientific uses worldwide. So it will give you free of cost without any fees services. So it is a standard for this thing. So read two paragraphs, not more. Then you just scroll it further. See, here it will give you beautiful definition. Navstar Global Positioning System, hereinafter referred as GPS, is a space-based radio navigation system owned by United States government and operated by US Space Force. GPS has provided positioning, navigation, and timing services to military and civil users on a continuous worldwide basis since initial operational capability declared in 1993. An unlimited number of users so and so are there. Now it will tell you one or two paragraphs you read, then purpose you can read one paragraph. So now you will understand everything and then the scope about the GPS. Now you see there is the standard positioning service what we were looking for. Here is the definition. So it is a positioning and timing service that is available for peaceful, civil, commercial, and scientific use. So here also you read 3 4 lines. Your work is done to understand and to write in 150 words. So that is standard positioning service. After understanding this, Google again. Now we needed to see that what are the satellite frequency band. I googled it and I got the website of European Space Agency. So since it's an authentic website, how do we find it out? Most of the time, Google, find out the info on the authentic websites of the governments across the world. So here, very short, they have mentioned, say satellite frequency. As frequency increase, there are different type of band, L, S, C, X, Q, K, K. So L band, just read them a bit. What is them? It is just this small. So you will understand what are these bands about. Then we needed to see what is CDMA. Now CDMA is looking complex. Once I read this, so I googled this on YouTube. Now what is CDMA? Code division multiple access. See any video that seems nice to you. 5 Minute Engineering is also a good channel. See this, and then you will understand about CDMA. Then there is this thing. We have also decided to Google the radio waves. What radio waves are all about? When it had said that radio waves travel at the speed of light. So Google this, and then radio waves. See, there is this UN, the Center for Scientific Education. So it seems good. I will read just one page about radio waves. Then we also decided to Google general theory of relativity. Then good videos are coming. Seems to be a nice video, and then this seems to be time dilation. Seems to be a nice video. Then it will explain to you general theory of relativity. Before you understand, just keep googling. Understanding is the main thing. You should be able to explain the general theory. Then there was another word, spatial theory of relativity. See, there is this crash course about it. I love crash course channel. This is very helpful because they explain such a big info in a very small time. So I like that. Say quantum mechanics video is also there. So understand what is this thing. Then there is another thing that we decided to Google was atomic clock. See, there are good videos on atomic clock. This person has made and this person has made. And then there is TED Talk also. You should see this 5 minute education. There is TED ED, that is education. So there are good videos of 5 minutes on TED Ed also. See, understand about atomic clock. Then we decided to Google this ISRO uh, IRNSS. This is the official thing about IRNSS. We should always go for the wordings of the official words. Never use the words lightly or loosely, like sort of what. Let's say this is the luxury with journalists, but never with an administrator. So once you are joining the administration, you should be precise and accurate in your wordings, and you should know what the program and mission is all about from the official sources. So read IRNSS. This is the official document about it. Read about it, and then Gagan. See this how beautifully they are explaining that in this much region IRNSS will serve. That's why it's a regional project. So this is ISRO's official website and official info. Just this much. So understand this. And then Gagan also we there was this link here itself that know more about Gagan here. So I clicked it and now I am at Gagan. Only read this one. This is enough about Gagan. And then here we came at the syllabus, so that's all. Our topic is ready. So now you see that you should. always approach an article from this perspective, that what is this thing in this article that you need to know. So the how much curiosity that remains in you, only that much you learn. Now think about it. This was an article about GPS, but now I can answer anything on theory of relativity, which was as in my prelims also once in 2018 wala. So I did it and I did it correct, despite many of my friends from IITs did it wrong. So because they had read it before, so they won't Google it. But I, being a novice in this science, so I'll Google it. So for this, what coaching institutions started doing from the next year was they increased their focus on 11th and 12th science and physics and all. No, that year the question came in all probability because Stephen Hawking had died I mean, around the exam. And then his theory of everything, he was working on that. There's a film also, Theory of Everything. And then he was working on a overarching theory about space. So his theory used to contradict with Einstein because he used to say that black holes, something radiation comes out. So he used to call it, it was called Hawking radiation. But Einstein's theory would say that no, nothing can escape. Even the light cannot escape the black hole. So there was this contradiction, and because of the contradiction, Einstein's theory was also in news. So that's how I happened to Google Einstein's theory of relativity because Stephen Hawking's work was in news. So that's how I could crack that question. So if you keep your see, that's how paper setter is gonna set the paper, right? I mean, do you think that paper setter, who is such as the senior level of professor, maybe, or I don't know who, that those people would pick up seventh class NCERT would set the paper? No, they would pick up the newspaper. They would keep reading the latest developments around the world in maybe the Economist or good newspapers around the world, and then whatever they think right, they frame the questions from the fundamentals of science behind them. So whenever any article comes or whenever you were reading the magazine, my second one source was the Hindu and second source was Raoul's IAS Focus magazine. So they also come up with very nice compilation. So there also my approach used to be same. So if I can show you again, give me a second. Focus. So my point is that you got my point that whether you are reading from Focus magazine or from this place, I mean the Hindu newspaper, the approach remains the same. Maintain the highest level of curiosity, Google everything, and then learn. Your focus should be understanding the concept, and then, if need be, in the mains, explain that. As for mains, we have discussed most of the questions would be from current affairs and link technology, but for those topics for which there has not been any current affair, go to Google and understand. For example, for the topic of science and technology, I'll often go to Department of Science and Technology website and would try to find out what it is there which they have done, right? So it would help a lot in mains examination. Okay, so I'm not finding the, okay, I have found. So here again you see this is Focus magazine of Rouse IAS. In this there is this science and technology section. Now if you see this there is helium. Now helium back then was in news when I was preparing. So I'll read it very depth and that what helium is all about. Then hydrogen helium difference because sun is powered by hydrogen and helium fusion. So then you read everything about helium and then if need be you Google it. Stem cells. So this glial cells. So biotechnology, nanotechnology related developments would keep coming. So they anyway mention that in their magazine. So we need not to worry that we are missing out. And if some way, some kind of topic come which nobody knows, then nobody knows. It's a relative paper. You need not to focus on 1% material which might come. Rather focus on 80% that will come. So that will take us through. It's just that because 80% paper any day is out all the time, right? Anybody can predict what 80% paper would be. Even then we don't prepare it. So that's the thing. And often I get asked this question that everybody is reading from the same source, how we are gonna do it. Just remember one thing. In the school time, our teachers used to be same. They used to give us the same dictation. Even then, one or two people used to talk. Why that happens? Because everybody, there is something called a selective perception, selective retention. So our psychologies are so different that we take different things from the same content and retain different things, reproduce different things. So never mind that even if all the people in India were reading from the same source, everyone will happen to write different things in a different way. So never ever come in this thing that everybody is reading the same topic from the same source, same magazine. No, read that way. So lastly, before ending this topic, you see Department of Science and Technology. There are many missions mentioned: National Quantum Mission, Supercomputing Mission, and Cyber Physical Systems. That is about IoT. So read about those missions. This is what India is doing. IoT Research Initiative. These are all official websites. And then what I like the most is the annual reports. So if you see annual report, this is the annual report of Department of Biotechnology. If you see this, there is this thing, National Mission on Nanoscience and Nanotechnology. Now it is just 8 or 9 pages. You will read everything about India's mission on nanoscience and nanotechnology, what India is doing. You see organic, inorganic, hybrid, nanomaterial, non-conventional energy. So they are working in field of energy, nanomaterials, photochemical, and then energy conservation. They are working in field of agriculture also. Diatom analysis we do in forensics. I learned it after becoming an IPS. So diatom is their solar panels for biofuel production. So they are working for biofuel. So you know that nanotechnology can be used for energy, for biofuel, and everything. So understand this is used for agriculture also. So if you read from official sources, 7 8 pages, you will know everything. So that you do for every topic in the mains from the official, because believe me, when government has put anything in the syllabus, it means some ministry is working on that topic. Otherwise, why government would want administrators to know this if this was not being done in the country? So government is doing it. So understand what government is doing and then understand the fundamentals behind the technologies and science. So this is very, very exciting. Rather, I used to find science and technology the most exciting topic to prepare because it would enable me to Google a lot. So I don't need to stick to a lot of books. So that's how you do. So that's all about the topic, science and technology. I hope it clarifies. Please let me know about the feedback about this video on the YouTube comments as well as in our Telegram channel. It is UPSC Infinity by ignitingstudents.org. And if you want to discuss something with me or ask anything, there is a Telegram group, ignitingstudents.org. So let's keep the mission forward because our mission is not to reach out merely to civil aspirants, but to every students. So as I said before, that our mission is that the professionals who are working in the field should take out time in a month or two and then should guide people, or it would be kind of mentorship as well as sort of experience sharing, because the people who have spent 10 or 20 years in a given topic, let's say forest officials in at DFO and things like that, scientists, so they should come and explain about topics. So that would give you a better perspective of the practical world. So that's the mission, igniting students. That's our mission around it. If you also want to join, please join. If you want to do podcast, please do. It's an open thing. It's not any individual specific platform. So we are trying to do much about it. So that's all from my side, friends. Before we meet again. So thank you for very much for seeing this, and please let me know what we can do more together. Okay, so thank you, Jai Hind, bye bye, and take care and do great. Keep smiling.